is under the MSME Act 2006, and from 1st July 2020, we have a new definition. Earlier, the definition was in two categories, one for manufacturing and another was for service. Now it is composite, and there are two conditions to be simultaneously fulfilled. One is this plant and machinery
Okay.
investment.
Uh,
I think
yeah,
it is ready.
Rajkumar, sir, yes.
Huh?
Sorry, everyone, to make you all stop. I think the technical glitch is now gone. Is it fair? Like, I could start on the presentation right now?
Please. I'm
Yes,
so
Amita,
sorry.
please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajkumar, sir. Thank you, Amit, sir. And sorry for everyone for the delay. Yeah. Now, into my journey, I could like see here. Here would be the first slide, which goes around this all you need to know about micro, small, and medium enterprises, along with MSME Samadhan, which would be a recovery program, which could be easier for you all to understand. Now I can brief you all with all the introduction. Like MSME, basically MSME sector has been emerged as highly a vibrant and a dynamic sector in the economy of India. So like in years, there are a lot of things for MSME that has been brought up. But in order to promote these sectors, basically our finance ministers have worked so hard, but there was no like set off for this section, and people never used to think of these sectors and entering into this, like because they were not well versed with the benefit of the MSME sections. So in order to promote this sector, they have prescribed new criteria. Like every one of us is well versed with these criteria. There was basically a major crux that has been brought in this criteria change, so that number of businesses can avail the benefit that has been provided under MSME sectors. So now going to this introduction, I would take you through all the criteria that has been brought in here. So I suppose like you can also see the criterias on the screen. Uh, I hope everyone
Amita,
can.
Amita ji, your presentation is looking too small. Can you make it a larger slightly? Otherwise, it's very difficult to read.
Sir, is it okay right
Yeah.
now?
Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay. So basically, okay. I think right now you're visible, sir. Visible enough?
Yeah,
Okay.
Amita, go ahead.
Yes.
Perfect.
Amita, now it is okay. Don't change it now.
Yes. So now the criterias which are going in was micro enterprise, the revised criteria, so that there is no parity between, firstly, if you see here, is before we had a segregation which used to segregate the service sector as well as manufacture sector into different sections. So now they have removed the parity and the discrimination between that, and they have compiled the entire process, wherein the micro small enterprises are based on the criteria as follows. If you see the investment in plant and machinery under micro enterprise, now it has been made as 1 crore, and there is a criteria of turnover which is brought down, that is 5 crores. Now if you come down under small enterprises, then it would be 10 crores investment in plant and machinery and a turnover up to 50 crores. And the third criteria would be medium enterprises, wherein the investment is up to 50 crores and the turnover is up to 250 crores. So basically, they have bring down the discrimination between the service sector and manufacturing sector, and also they have brought in a criteria of turnover here, so that maximum enterprises or any enterprises can take down the charge of the MSME and take down the benefits. Now, I suppose here a lot of people have a query that even traders are not involved, like there is no MSME benefits for traders. So, as the concern of MSME, I can say that they are considered to be the link between the manufacturers and the customers, or a link between the service providers. So, basically, these benefits are only specified for the manufacturing sector as well as the service sector. So, traders are still out of the purview of MSME registration. So basically, they cannot take these benefits out of the MSME things. Now, there is a third criteria, like where I found confusion is that how to calculate investment in plant and machinery. Now, while you're getting registered under this MSME, so basically there are two queries, like since the main segregation is investment and turnover. So I will just help you out like what all can be considered while calculating investment in plant and machinery. So firstly, if you are already registered and you have MSME registration already done, so for them it is easier because it would be auto calculated as per the ITR that had been filed for the previous year. So there's no issues like the entire amount would be taken down as your plant and machinery. Now, in case you have done a first year, like you're an enterprise which has been incorporated or started their business in a new phase and you don't have a prior ITR available. So in that case, the investment would be based on your self-disclosure basis. So this is a thing since you don't have a ITR and you don't have a supporting. And majorly now this window is like for re-registration as well as registration is open up till 31st March 2021. So that is a big criteria that it would help you out like to get involved. Now under the calculation of plant and machinery, you can include all the tangible assets as informed by the MSME Act and the amendments, but that will exclude your land and building as well as furniture and fixture. So, like basically, if I go to the history, we had this amendment coming in the date of 26th June 2020, wherein they had provided us a good PPT on what would be the calculation of plant and machinery, what all would be included and what all would be excluded. But in that thing, they have already mentioned that the original cost of plant and machinery would be included. But there was an amendment which came in like in a form of memorandum issued under MSME Act dated 6th August 2020, which said that taking original cost would be very difficult since it has to be certified by a chartered accountant and it's very difficult to take down particular tangible assets, like you also have to exclude land and building, furniture and fixture. So they came in with an amendment which reckoned the previous amendment, and they told us that you have to take down the written down value, which means this value should be taken after the depreciation. So all the plant and machinery or the equipments which are involved in your business, in your manufacturing or in your service industries, you have to take down those values which is written down value after depreciation. Thus, the value of plant and machinery or equipment shall be meant to be the written down value at the end of the relevant previous year. So basically, this move of the government is a very good move because the enterprise which had a like higher limit of their investment in plant and machinery due to the consideration of original cost would be taken into consideration and they can take down the benefits of MSME. Now this we can understand by an example. So I'll just show you, like it would be more clear for you all. Now, an entity who had deployed plant and machinery whose original cost exceeded more than 50 crores, but its written down value as at the end of the relevant previous year would be less than 50 crores, may fall in the ambit of MSME. Let us understand this. That is, if you see a ABC Private Limited or any enterprise would have its turnover in the last financial year as 200 crores, the original value of the plant and machinery was 75 crores. Okay. And the WDV of your plant and machinery on the last financial year as per ITR is 40 crores. So now you can see the difference, like as per the criteria which I had showed you, in that case, turnover is coming under the criteria of medium enterprise. But if you see, if we consider the original value of the plant and machinery, it is coming 75 crores. So this will take out the enterprise from the purview of MSME and they cannot avail MSME benefit. But then if you consider the written down value, then it is 40 crores. Like indirectly, this will help those enterprises like you to whom they were considering the original cost. Then it will take them within the criteria of prescribed MSME, since the original value of plant and machinery is not taken into consideration. However, if on the basis of the information, we will see that now the latest change, the company will be covered under the umbrella of MSME and can enroll itself into the various benefits of MSME, which could be like a very good move taken by the government. I feel so. So I suppose this was a change which was recently brought, wherein there was 2 amendments and memorandum. And I suppose you all would be clear, the participants would be clear, like what all would be the important risks that you should consider while taking into consideration. Now, I would like to talk about the calculation of turnover, which is again an important aspect. Like if you're into a confusion that how you can take the turnover into consideration. Basically, it would be linked into Income Tax Act again if you are already registered and you have also have a GSTN. Now, this is a matter like if you go through the MSME registration portal. So GSTN is like now you can, as of now, you can go ahead with the GST without GSTN number, but it would be mandatory on or before 31st March 2021. So basically all your information, if you are previously registered and you are going to re-register under the Udyam registration portal, then this thing be linked with your income tax and the entire turnover would be coming in. Now, basically, what would be excluded? Here, it would be export of goods and services. Basically, export turnover is not considered to be the important thing in calculation of turnover under MSME. However, the figures would be the import which has been done and the local profits which you have taken into consideration. Now the turnover, if you have you are the first timer and your incorporation is during the year and you're getting a new registration under MSME, then it would be on the self disclosure basis as on 31st March 2021. Now, in this entire process, PAN is to be compulsory, GSTN is also mandatory, but this GSTN would be mandatory effective from 2021 to 22. So the data would, if you want to edit any of your data, that would be your turnover, your basic details, your plant and machinery investment. If there are any queries on your mind that I would like to change it or something, so you can do it before 31st March 2021. So for turnover, it is not that much technical. Basically, you have to exclude your export goods and services from that. Okay. Okay, now the most interesting topic, like everyone must be feeling, what are the benefits of MSME? Like if I get myself registered under MSME, then what are my benefits under that? First major benefits is finance availability from the bank. So basically there's no collaterals needed here. In this, I would like to speak like collateral loan freeze depends on certain case to case, like what type of enterprise you're coming in. Basically, for micro and small enterprises, there are many types of concession, like collateral free percent, like there are certain amount of guarantee, like percent of guarantee which you have to provide for your amount. Now, under this thing, the government what has introduced with a merger plan of Department of MSME and Small Industrial Development Bank of India has joined hand, and they brought in a scheme of credit link guarantee scheme. So wherein this funds, like there are funds which has been infused by the government to help such micro and small industries to bring up their business and manage their business. And this funds is basically brought up in a form of trust, wherein there are basic different schemes like credit facility schemes are given. If you are an MSME which are looking for upgradation of your technologies, and if you are bringing in new technologies and you want to replace your obsolete technologies with this technology, then the government would give you certain credit subsidies on behalf of the government, and the financing of the government shall be basically if you prove to them that you're a startup firm and you are looking into basic technology upgradation to improve your business. So basically, to enhance and promote the MSME sectors and bring in more funds requirements, this type of MSME is done, and there are finance availability done from basic banks. Like you can directly go to the banks and ask for these types of credits, which is very important. Now, if I go secondly, is protection against delayed payment from the customer. Now, this is a very important thing which comes up, that is the protection against delayed payment. Now, what kind of protection you get? Like as per MSME Act, if you raise an invoice, if a supplier raises an invoice against the services they have provided or the goods they have provided to their customers, so it is a rule as per MSME Act that within 45 days, the payment has to be cleared. Either it is a 45 days or within the 15 days of the acceptance of the goods and services. Okay. So in this case, you get a protection that there is an agreement or you have to pay it, the customer must pay to you within 45 days. Otherwise, there is an interest that would be charged on a monthly rest basis. And there is also compound interest that has been charged on this basis, so that you can recover your amount along with the interest. So this is a benefit on the side of the supplier and the manufacturer. They can take a good benefit of this kind of protection that is provided under the MSME registration. Now, thirdly, right of interest on payment delayed. So the interest that would be charged, like if you are aggrieved by the payment, that is, you have not got your payment from the further 45 days, you have done all type of mailing, you have also given them written confirmation, kindly pay us, and still there is no recovery, then you can also tell them that there is a interest payment 3 times, which would be charged 3 times of the bank rate which is going on. So 3 times of the interest would be charged as per the RBI guidelines or the RBI interest that has been charged. So this is a good protection provided to the suppliers and the manufacturers. And I feel that MSME registration could help you out, because basically MSME registration is mandatory. Without your MSME unique identification certificate, you cannot avail these benefits. Now, fourth is the preferences in government tenders. Now, all of you know that it is very difficult to get into government tenders. Like now they have introduced this thing that government tenders can be easily entered into if you have your MSME certificate. So you can enter into government e-markets. You can also look into the government tenders. Now, what are the benefits? Like under preferences in government, you will firstly get a special treatment as since you are MSME registered. Secondly, that sets of the quotation provided by government tenders are cost oriented. So high costs are charged to provide you all the quotations. So it would be free of cost available to all the MSME who are MSME registered. Thirdly, you have to pay a security deposit, a particular amount of security deposit, depending upon the business you are involved in. So in that kind of situation, if you see, you have a concession in depositing this security. So it is a very good benefit. The security deposit is at a particular minimum limit that would be charged to MSMEs. Thirdly, there is a payment of earnest money to enter into these tenders. So this earnest money, the earnest money paid is exempt if you are MSME registered. So I think it's a very good move if you get your entity registered under MSME, and even if you want to be an emerging business, then you can go into for this government tenders, which are long-term tenders and which would be beneficial for your enterprise also. Now, there are the stamp duty and registration fees exemption or benefits, you can say. Like in the previous regime, I have seen that there are some IT parks which are registered under public IT departments. So they used to get this stamp duty or registration concession fees. But now, if you see, if you prove the certain department that you are a new industrial department and you're working in with a good amount of new designs, products, or ideas, and your startup firm is a very good entity, so you can just like get these concessions, but respectively, like again and again I'm coming to this point, is any department, if you want any kind of exemptions, concession or reimbursement, you have to make an application to the respective department along with your certificate of MSME, so that it's easier for them to provide you all the concessions, and it's easy that you get a benefit around this over other enterprises if you don't get registration. Now, if I go to the another point, is a subsidy on patent registration. And the basically, if your enterprises is having a patent on your registration and you have a patent registered, so there is huge cost that is involved for this patent registration, and enterprises has to bear huge cost on that. So if you see, if your MSME registered, so those patents would be easier for you. Those patents would be easier for you to get away with. So it's a very difficult situation, and the patent charges and the cost would be like 50% of your cost on patent registration would be borne by government if they feel it feasible and if your MSME registered. Now, preferential allowances on electricity bills. Like this is a very small move, but it can help you to reduce your fixed cost or the overhead cost while your startup firm. So preferential allowances in electricity bill. So respective, like if your Mahavitran enterprises who are using Mahavitran as their suppliers or Adani, so you can have a good practice, and what you can do is you can make an application to your electricity board suppliers that your MSME registered, and there would be a specific percent, like at least 1 to 2% of your amount or 3% of your amount would be reduced, and that amount can be effective for you, that you can use it to